The following is intended for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
What up, Deadites? Last time we left our boy with no name, adorably sitting next to Rory in a clinic awaiting his background information. Well, here we go. According to the analysis, his name is Joaquin Watson. He has his American father's last name. According to this, his mother passed away soon after childbirth. She was in transit to return to the city proper, but along the way, the facility she was stationed at was raided. I would guess that either the crew that boy was with were the raiders, or it was just a twist of fate, more likely, considering that they operate within the city. She went on, but I'll take over. Joaquin had no remaining direct family in the city proper, but we all know that the Watson family is doing well enough in New York. Or are they? Only time shall tell on that one. Rory hugged him. See? You have a name. Do you feel better, my boy? Joaquin still had his head down. But I have no family here. Rory knelt down and lifted Joaquin's head to face her in her eyes. Look at me, Joaquin. What am I if not your family? Now let's go home and be a proper family. Joaquin lifted his hands up in a motion that every adult should know. The boy was so tired, so she picked him up and began walking to her car. I've already processed the paperwork, Rory. He's all yours. Take care of him, okay? Rory nodded and walked away with a smile on her face as she stared down at the sleeping Joaquin. Of course, as they left, a certain set of goons arrived for something completely unrelated. Rory took Joaquin's training very seriously, but she had something more important to deal with. His birthday. She would have to find something fun to do. What exactly does an 8-year-old boy like anyway? Then Joaquin began to stir in his sleep and say one word. Rory. Her name. He truly was adorable. Rory couldn't help but smile. The one thing she truly wanted but never really had time for was now hers. Then a thought came to her and harshed her mellow. He still has some family in America, but that bridge will have to be crossed at a later date. One fact that was horrendously clear. Joaquin has enemies. Or at the very least, people in the criminal underworld that wish him to not be very well. As he stirred in his sleep, she looked on unwary. She could train him as much as she liked, but the boy needed an education as well. Now that he was officially hers, Robbie could enroll him in a school, but that question was, what school? Considering his current state, he'd be getting tutored privately. It's not that he's sickly or anything, but she just didn't want to run the risk of anyone in whatever crew it was he used to be in finding him. Good job, Joaquin. That's all for today. How was she going to broach the subject of him going to an actual school? Good luck with that one, girl. Joaquin made a point of sneaking out from time to time to put his abilities to practical use. Today, he jumped from the tallest building he could and attempted to get on the other side of it. However, he wouldn't get that chance tonight. All right, you hoodlum, get down! Joaquin panicked. He was followed. Was it the Dora Milaje? Why would they be here, of all places? If he got caught here, Rory was gonna kill him. Huh? He's not here. I could have sworn. Joaquin was staring right at her, and she couldn't see him for some reason. Not one to look a gift horse in the mouth, Joaquin crawled down the building and noticed he couldn't see his own reflection in the glass, so he can bend light around him and blend in. But what's going on? She was right in front of him and didn't so much as even smell him. What kind of trick was that?
Peek. Right on the nail, my boy. You'll find that you have quite a few tricks up your sleeve. Now get some sleep before she wakes up.
What the? Who are you?
You will find out soon enough, boy.
As Joaquin ran, he noticed that he wasn't blending in anymore, but while he was going fast, he wasn't going quicksilver fast. He was running about as fast as a professional runner. He got home rather quickly and snuck back into his room, only for his sense to activate and find Rory sipping tea. Hope you had a good run, son, because your training is going to knock the wind out of you. Also, you're grounded. Well, crap. Just when he was feeling invincible. Well, he might as well tell Rory about it. Joaquin sat on the bed and hugged Rory, then began his tale of what happened during his little excursion. So, you vanished from sight or all senses. That's something we'll have to work on, so you can do that on demand. Sounds like a defense mechanism of some sort, possibly linked to your sense of flight. I wonder what you'll get for fight. Oh, and I know, I'm still grounded. Rory kisses Joaquin on the cheek and bids him good night. The next week was not fun for Joaquin. Think twice about sneaking out, boy. I know you want revenge, and we'll get you there, but now is not the time. We have much training to do, my boy. To say that Rory put Joaquin through the ringer would be an understatement of epic proportions. While Joaquin was indeed getting physical training, Rory wasn't neglecting his need of an education. She would have him tutored since it was the off-season for school currently. The boy was quick on the uptake and soaked up all information thrown at him like a sponge. Rory couldn't help but be a little jealous of all the attention the boy was giving his tutor. Why can't he smile like that during their training? Well, I suppose it's rather hard to smile while dodging a punch. Rory left the two refreshments and made a "I'm watching you" motion at the female toter. The girl just gave a giggle and got back to tutoring, assuming Rory was being an overprotective mother, which wasn't that far off from the mark. She was responsible for another life, and that rang deep inside of her. Get it together, girl. He's too young to do anything like that. It's just childish admiration for a smart, pretty girl. He won't be turning you into a grandmother figure just yet. Time goes by, and summer is almost done. Joaquin was doing quite well in his training, and his body and mind, of his body and his mind, to the point where Miss Memvo, Joaquin is quite talented. If you would allow it, I would like to write him a recommendation letter for the Royal Academy, to which I attend. He's got what it takes, and if money is a problem, Rory lifts a finger. Money is not a problem. We live this way by choice, but I suppose it is time to make a move. But first, we must ask the boy if that is what he wants. Well, he does have talent. I'm not doubting that. It would put him at odds with other students. This is Wakanda after all, so his upbringing wouldn't be what would get him teased. It would be the fact that he's a new kid in an escalator type school. Of course, children of his age range can be vicious, especially to the new kid. Miss Memvo, I understand your worries, but Joaquin can defend himself, both physically and mentally. I am quite certain of that. His tutor had a point, and she called the boy. Joaquin, honey. Joaquin, my dear. We have something we'd like to discuss with you. The first thing that came to Joaquin's mind was,
Oh boy, what I do this time can't be good as making a united front.
try as he might, Joaquin had nothing that he could think of that he had done wrong, and his danger sense was going off. So he just took a seat. Rory gave a head nod, and Tommy smiled and reached into her bag and put an envelope on the table. Joaquin, my dearest pupil, I would like to invite you to join the Royal Academy and learn there. We have the best technology, and in my book, it is the best learning facility in all of Wakanda, if I dare say, honestly. He took one look at Rory and said, Can I go, Mom? Rory melted at those words. Of course you can, dear. Rory tapped her. I'm just gonna call it a phone, since that's the most basic communication device that is common. That will be our new address as of next week, Tommy. This place shall be gone. Joaquin, we are moving further into the city, but of course, we need to pack. Joaquin hugs Rory in excitement and lifts her a lot higher than someone his age has any business lifting a grown woman. To be clear, Rory was about 5'10", and she weighs in at about 160 pounds. She had an air of femininity to her as well as the body of a warrior. What kind of training have you been giving this boy? Tommy kisses Joaquin on the forehead when he drops Rory and says, Your tutelage under me isn't exactly done. You'll probably be ahead of your classmates by the time you get to school, but don't let it get to your head. Blend in for a bit. If someone or their parents feel threatened by a streeter, understood? Tommy Todano gave her student good advice, and Rory was nodding behind her as well. As far as combat training goes for the school, hold back, but do not be a pushover. And try not to utter my name unless it is asked of you by your instructor. Understand, my love? In preparation for our move, you'll get a few extra days off, but do not slack off. Do your exercises. A few days later, Joachim had the oddest dream. He was stuck in a giant cocoon of webs. Even with all his might, he could not escape. Yet for some reason, he did not give up hope. Joachim refused to submit to his fate. If strength wasn't the way, then perhaps finesse was. Joachim calmed his emotions and focused on one singular task: escape. With that thought, his fight or flight reactions were a bit of both, and something that has never happened, at least to his knowledge, occurs. His fingernails are replaced with talons, and similar spiny things protruded from the side of his arm. If that was the only thing that happened, he would be unfazed. But he now had 6 arms, and something was off with his vision. Despite the fact that it was dark as all get out, he could see clearly. No time to question that. He had to get out. Now! Joaquin attempted to tear through the cocoon as a knee-jerk reaction, but came to his senses. Strength was not what he needed at this point. He needed to be smart. He made repeated strikes at one point until it began to give way, and then he went all in on force, utilizing his new appendages. He was free. Unfortunately for Joachim, he began to plummet and noticed he would not survive the fall. In a desperate moment, Joachim reached for a pillar. As soon as he did that, a rope extended from his reaching hand. As he held on to the rope, he began to realize, this isn't a rope, it's a web. I suppose I'm all in on my spider motif. On reaching the pillar, Joachim thought of taking his time to crawl up. However, it seemed that something was now after. His danger sense was going off like crazy, and that's how he knew it was a threat. He was being chased by a gigantic spider, and it looked hungry. Sorry, but I don't feel like being your dinner. Crawling wasn't going to get him to safety, and this was only pillar. He had 8 limbs, and assumed 6 of them could do the web thing. Joachim stood up and started running, using webs to propel himself faster up the pillar. While it was going well, he was definitely faster than his would-be Doombringer. He needed some way of slowing it down further. He decided to sacrifice 4 of those arms to make a web trap to slow it down and hope it worked. Within a few moments, Joachim was at the top, and it was time for him to come up with some kind of plan for that giant thing. There was no way up, only a sheer drop waiting for him. He needed to not be there when it got here. I can't let it see me. I have to come up with something. For the viewer, Joachim vanished. However, not exactly like Miles. The spider made its way up and was immensely angry. It was quite perturbed to discover that its quarry was gone. There was no smell, no scent, not a single print.
Well, this is new. It would appear that this one seems to have tact. I don't know what you did, boy, but your tricks will only keep you alive. 'Alive. 'For so long. 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 'For
The spider's meal appeared before him. Perhaps it gives up. Good. He grew tired of this whole game of cat and mouse. As soon as the giant spider attacked, he was rewarded with a whole lot of nothing. Then Joachim attacked him from behind by sinking his fangs and all 30 talons before kicking off of it and webbing up as much of its body as he could. I don't think that will hold, but it should be enough to slow it down. Joachim did his best to cocoon the spider as quickly as he could. Then he grabbed and threw it up in the air as high as he could, which was pretty high, actually. Without missing a beat, all 6 arms reach out to web it. Ever play Super Mario 64? Well, that's what Homeboy is doing, basically. He spins around the platform as fast as he can and throws the spider down into the abyss. Down came the rain to wash the spider out. Joachim could hear the sound of clapping from behind him. As he turned around, he saw nothing, and turned around once more to find a 6-armed man with 8 eyes right in front of him. The man opened his mouth. Well done, my champion. You are the first to properly overcome that challenge. Got me impressed. Relax, dear boy. You would not have died if the spider ate you. However, you also would not have received any further gifts from me. Do you know who I am, boy? Joachim opened his mouth to say the dead obvious answer. Wakandan may be a super advanced nation, but it's still based in Africa. Lore of gods is pretty much out there for all. Joachim lowers himself so he doesn't look the man in the eyes. Due to your appearance and nature of this challenge, I would assume you are Anansi, my lord. The man, now revealed to be Anansi, smiled. Good. With that out of the way, we have much to discuss.
If you like that, United States to smash that like button. Let's go full calling on the notification icon. Ring that bell, baby. And of course, don't forget, go plus ultra on the subscribe if you're not. Now rest easy, Deadites. And remember,
The night is ours.